Welcome back to Multi-Turret Academy as I take a break from my busy shitposting schedule to give you all another look at a game that I've been avidly following over the past couple of weeks, and I've been putting a lot of time into this game and maybe too much feedback on the Discord that you can find a link to in the game. Once again, this is Multi-Turret Academy. It is a meme-fueled, very fun and engaging top-down twin-stick shooter style. Well, let's call it a tank action arcade game with roguelike elements. So this is being very actively developed by a guy called Ziff for on behalf of his, I think it's basically a one-man dev team, and then he's got some things that he farms out to other people, like art, and the 3D models for the vehicles I think come from one or two, maybe a handful of other sources, and then he daily updates the coding of the game, implementing new vehicles and mechanics with some fairly significant changes to the game over the past 2 or 3 weeks that I've been following it, and to the better. I really loved this game when I first got access to it, and I've continued to enjoy it. In all honesty, I crave newness with a passion that can only be described as neurotic, and I have to keep tricking my mind into thinking I'm learning something, or I slowly devour my own soul. So this game was getting a little bit old for me, and then there were some huge changes implemented. There was a great update of the driving system that added some very appreciated changes to the mobility, just made it feel a little more intuitive and satisfying and easy to control the tanks while still maintaining that grounded feeling of moving around a large metal object via tracks or a series of wheels. And of course, all of this is still under development and could change faces a few times before it is officially launched, and when this game is for sale, I'm definitely going to buy a copy. I've really enjoyed it, and even though I feel like I'm giving some value back to Ziff through feedback and testing for him and finding bugs, I'm just very happy to support this little budding game developer. This is his first game, and I'm impressed. I'm just very impressed with the work of this young man and his ability to bring all of this together in a way that's so enjoyable right out the gate. You know, a lot of game developers, they say the game just wasn't fun until, you know, the last little push of the development is get all these mechanics in place, get it all in place, and then make the game fun somehow in the last rush before the door. And that's definitely not the case with this game. It's pretty much exactly what it looks like, and one of the things that might be going by a little bit faster than you may notice is that you can swap turrets actively with the mouse wheel during combat. So you can actually cycle your main gun through a list of available turrets that you blast off of enemy tanks and they drop. You've seen the drops that those enemies leave sometimes. And you can also purchase them from the in-mission shops that show up occasionally on the mission timeline there. And sometimes you can also receive them as a randomized reward for completing your battles, I guess. I get a little bit confused between battles and missions. The mission is like the series of battles, like your run, and then you get paid out in another type of fruit, because I've already mentioned pineapples before, and I think I mentioned lemons as well. So why don't I just skip all of that and talk about some of the changes that have come to the game, because there's a lot. So one of the first tank destroyer type vehicles has come to the game in the form of the Italian, what is it, M41 or something. It's one of those long 75 Italian gun carrying boys that probably would have been, you know, one of the less great vehicles of World War II, but it plays pretty well in this game, and it's the beginning of the introduction of limited traverse, tank destroyer type vehicles in the game. There is also an American vehicle that I think does have 360-degree rotation on its turret, but effectively it plays a lot like a limited traverse, not having full 360 degrees capability on account of its main gun will actually blast the chassis upside down if you fire it off at a 90-degree angle from straight ahead. So you know, fun little things like that. You can flip your tank in this game. The physics are modeled on a 3D basis, and the recoil of certain cannons can knock your vehicle over, and I've probably talked about that before, but those mechanics have been updated and tweaked, and they're even more fun than they were before, because now you can do a backflip. And here is, once again, the mid-boss, and he's feeling more mid than ever, as I'm just very familiar with the game, so I just cycle between turrets until he blows up, and that's the end of this battle. We grab our rewards. I've once again walked off the beaten path and forgotten what I was going to mention, so more changes to the game since the last time I made a video. I've been playing the game a lot. I haven't recorded a lot of video because Shadowplay still can't decide whether or not this game exists, and that's just, you know, that's Shadowplay stuff, and it would be a lot easier to record this with the privacy settings on Shadowplay turned off, or through OBS or OBS Studio, something like that. Any of the other screen recording software that doesn't worry about whether it's actually detecting a video game or not. But I just prefer to stick with Shadowplay because that's what works for me, and I try not to dedicate very much time to making videos these days, as you can tell from the terrible quality of the shitposts that I've been squeezing out. I've just been really enjoying them a lot. And it's just this dumb stuff that makes the disgusting weather outside a little bit more bearable. Anyway, what else in the game? A couple of tiny little changes to characterization that I'm not even going to mention because there's definitely a lot more coming. But with these lovely ladies like Yulia you see over there, I mean, she's obviously best girl. Look at her. You gotta love her while you can, because you know, Soviet party girls, they're just not long for this world, so you gotta cherish them. And so there will be a little more story beats coming to the game. Right now it's definitely an arcade grind. There's not a ton other than the fact that there's new vehicles every few days. It seems like 2 or 3 a week, if not more, and daily tweaks and changes to the game, to the engine and the way that things play. So this is a very engaging game to get involved in if you're interested in seeing how this game changes over time. And right now you can get in on the playtest by requesting that through Steam. So you find it in the Steam store, and it's not for sale yet, and it's not in early access, but it's in a playtesting phase where you can get access through being granted access. You just make a little request, and that doesn't cost any money, so feel free to try. And then when you do join the playtest, I'd recommend that you join the Discord and get involved there, because I just love the social scene, honestly. It's nice to connect with other people that are playing the game, and it's very useful to the development of the game to be involved in giving feedback and observations. And what better thing to do than to let other people know about this game, because I think it's going to be just delightful. And I know that it's definitely not for everyone. There's a lot of flavor here that's not going to sit right with certain individuals' palates, and you know what? That's perfectly fine. That's a matter of style. It's a matter of taste, and if anime cute girls leaves a bad taste in your mouth, I'd understand why. I myself am bothered daily by the exploitation of the female form and the misrepresentation of the role of women in society as presented by the average anime. And as a fan of anime, I have observed that 90 to 95% of it is utter garbage. But you know what? There's some gold in that turd, and it's not just corn. So I think it's worth digging through if such is your wont, and if such be not, I completely understand. And anime girls are going to be, if not 100% the cast of this game, let's call it 95%, on account of the main character is probably, you know, the everyman, whatever you would say. It is self-insert for the player, I'm sure. Chad Thundercock in the flesh, ready to bring justice, victory, and an extra slice of manliness to whatever situation you find yourself in. Because, are you not the biggest boy, the strongest boy, the brightest boy, the most interesting boy for having purchased and played this game? I think so. Anyway, it's been a nice, relaxing evening, and we are working our way through this game. I think we're at just about the last battle, so we'll scoop up a few more treasures in our shopping cart here as Sunday the cat girl purrs at us one last time before we set off, and she is clickable now, so that doubles the amount of clickable characters in the game from the last time I made a video, and she's adorable and precious. And where was I going with this? We're just about to part ways, and I'm ever so glad that you joined me for this time. If you stuck around this long, then keep in mind that this game is available, Multi-Turret Academy, on Steam, to download the demo or get involved in the playtest. And the developer, the creator of this game, also has a Patreon where you could give him some direct funding, and I'm sure that would get a lot of mileage. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.